Hey guys, today I'm going to talk to you about pine nuts. I've been growing these on our lifestyle block for a few years, and today I'm going to talk you through how to grow them, how to harvest them, and then how to get these tiny little pine nuts out of their shell. We're on a lifestyle block just a little bit north of Auckland in New Zealand, and I've got a couple of trees you can see in the far background there, and I was getting some pine nuts off those. Things were going well, so I got very excited and decided I'd be a pine nut farmer. Planted 6 more there. You can see them behind me. These are about 4 years old, so what are they, up to there on me, and I will talk you through the process that happens with harvesting them and then getting the pine nuts out of the cones. It was a lot more than I was expecting. I won't get too much into the actual growing of the trees. They're a pine tree, so pretty hardy. We're on clay soil here, pretty hard clay soil, and they're managing to grow in there. You can see around, we are pine tree country, so no surprise that they do all right. Get quite a lot of wind through here, that doesn't really bother them, so there's not much that needs doing to them, which is great. I'm going to go and show you the 2 original trees, and I will say that I should have been keeping them smaller, quite tall now and hard to harvest from, so these ones I'll keep to a more manageable size. I'm taking you down now to have a look at the 2 original pine nuts that I planted, probably about 12 years old now being 2026. As we get closer, you'll see the height of them. The trees are way too tall now, can't possibly harvest up the top, so that was a bit of an error to let them get so big. What I have done is made a little gadget that I can use to try and take down the pine nuts. This is basically a handsaw on a pole that allows me to get up. Still not high enough. I can get this one here, but for a lot of those ones I'm going to need this step ladder. Here we go. Successfully harvested one little pine nut. You can see up in the trees there, a few up in the distance. I went down and got some more pine nuts from the tree. I did have to get the step ladder, and I used my little go-go gadget blade to take them off. When they are quite ready, like this one, they'll come off really easily, cut away really easily. In fact, this one has dried out quite a lot. I had a little go at it. You can see the pine nuts in there, and some like that will even shake out. So that is our pine nut. However, we've got a bit more to go on it yet. We've got a little shell there, we've got to crack that, so I will do that separately and show you. So yeah, pretty happy with this lot here. A couple of these really good sizes. What I'm going to do is then put them onto a little tray or something like this one, and just sit those in the sun on the windowsill to dry out fully, and then they'll become more like this. I can get all those little pine nuts out. Also wanted to show you regular pine cones from our Pinus radiata. I've heard people saying that this is where you get the pine nuts from. That's not the case. They do inside have little nuts. That one's not really going to come open and show me. You've probably seen them. They might be edible, I'm not quite sure, but they're nowhere near the size of our little pine nut that we had there. It's been 2 weeks and I've had these cones sitting on the windowsill drying out. They've really opened up now. In fact, probably could have been a few days less. I just haven't had a chance to get to them. It's the middle of summer in New Zealand, so that's why they've dried out so well. And I also went through and I've pulled out all my little pine nuts out of the cones. Not very interesting video. Basically have to sort of force this open and get the little cones out, the little pine nuts out. Maybe about half a dozen cones or so, and all these pine nuts here. And as I've mentioned before, we've got another step to go yet. I need to crack these and get the actual nut out. So I'll do that. I've got another video which I will show you, Now just for all the continuity checkers out there, this next video is not going to be all of these ones. I just used one cone and cracked it, and showing you the volume of nuts that I've got from that one cone. So here we have the pine nuts I've cracked out of the pine cone. I think I've got about 36. And as I was saying, there's another step yet. I've got to crack this hard shell to get to the pine nut inside. I'll show you doing that. I've put just a rag down just to keep everything clean. When you touch these, they've got this sort of a dusty outside on them. So just using a rag, and that is so just everything doesn't go everywhere. So just very sophisticated here. And the aim is to try and not do what I've just done, which is hit it too hard and I've bashed it a little bit. There's also this other very thin papery shell on the outside which will come off really easily. So I'll carry on and I will do all of these, and then we'll take another look and see what we've ended up with. So I'm pretty happy with this little haul. This is from one pine cone, what did I say, about 34 grams, so that's not bad, I think. I have had it before where I've opened them up and maybe I've left the pine cones sort of sitting around too long, either outside or inside, and a lot of these have dried out, rotted. It's really disappointing to go through all of that and have half of them wasted. So that's pretty good success. Anyway, so I hope you've found this useful. You can see why when you're buying pine nuts they're so expensive. There's a lot to go through. Obviously I'm doing it manually. A commercial enterprise would have machines and everything, but yeah, it's not as simple as just going and picking a pine cone off the ground and ending up with some beautiful little pine nuts to eat.